The point is that when I testified here, I testified against Kojo Tchikata. I never testified against any captain retired Tsikata. The man sitting there, the guy sitting down there, is not a captain retired. He was cashiered and thrown out of the army and lost his rank. And ever since that time, he is simply Kojo Tchikata. Simplicity. For purposes of identification, I would want to know whether it's the same person sitting down there.
It doesn't matter who he is, whether he's doctor or captain or whatever it is. He's Mr. Kojo Tchikata. Yes.
Okay.
So, as far as we are concerned, he can take any title which he wants. We are not going to investigate to find out whether he's entitled to use a qualification or not. So please, let's all be calm and
I'm obliged, my lord.
Go through the proceedings. All right, thank you. Dr. Sama, please go on.
Arrest. And that the arrest was done by Giwa. You are one and the same person.
Dr. Obed Esamwa, you are either misunderstanding intentionally or you've lost your former brilliance I knew. Let me tell you. Yidana.
I didn't ask you to tell me anything more than that.
I'm going to tell you that because you have asked me a question. Sir, I will answer your question. If you don't want me to answer,
go on.
Say so.
Go on.
Okay. Everybody knows it is a notorious fact that Yidana was the man who was chosen to lead the investigation into the arrest of whoever kidnapped and murdered those 4 persons. And I say he was very swift. I commend him. Even
a copy, we will look at it.
It's not certified, though.
Then we can't look at it.
Well,
you see, Dr. Samwa, you are not the same person you were before.
My Lord.
Something has happened to you.
My Lord, we've had occasion here when you looked at documents that were not certified.
No, if it's not certified, we can't look at it. You know.
My Lord and members of the commission, I suspect that I may be overruled, but I have a preliminary point that, with the kind permission of the commission, I would want to make. I'm very honest. I concede that there was an error under the circumstances and the conditions of incarceration under which I was working on these papers. There was an error. But historical inaccuracies in the Bible have never made the Bible unauthentic. So one single historical inaccuracy, which I am honest enough to concede, would not render what I've said and what I have to say unacceptable.
It's not necessary. Just answer the question and let's get on.
If you are patient enough, we shall find out whether you have only made one historical inaccuracy. Immediate arrest of these 4 boys through the very quick and swift action of Mr. J.J. Yidana. The boys themselves told me. That is your evidence. Then it goes on further to say, so America was arrested. He did not protest. Giwa put him into an armored vehicle, brought him to the PNI. Now, how do you square this up with your claim that the arrest was a result of swift action by Yidana?
My Lord, I think there's a great obfuscation of the issues in the mind of Dr. Obed Samuel. Yidana's action referred to there, if you were not quoting out of context, is when he was mandated to lead the investigation into arresting the suspects or whoever murdered, kidnapped, and murdered the judges. That is the swift action of J.J. Yidana I referred to. Now, referring to the arrest by Jua, Tsikata has asserted, and I read the statement on the internet in the United States he filed here, that America wanted to stage a coup, and so he had his arrest. My contention is that based upon the information that America Jendu, confirmed by Jua himself, gave me, he was arrested on the 4th. America was, in fact, asked to come to the head office, invited there through Lieutenant Richard Ado. That is the man he and Rawlings sent to invite America from the broadcasting. I asked America, hold on, sir. You asked me, and I'm entitled to answer. Hold on, sir. And I asked America, why would they ask Lieutenant Richard Ado? America's answer was that they wanted to avoid any of my friends coming in case they would refer or they would brief me on what was happening. So Lieutenant Richard Ado went to the broadcasting and asked America to come and see the chairman. When America arrived, Cpl Adabuga and I think Cpl Hamidu, one of the other corporals, were on the veranda of the chairman's office. America then asked Adabuga to permit him to go and see the chairman. Adabuga told him that they were having a meeting, so he should wait. Then, whilst waiting, Jua came out of the office of the chairman and asked America to see him in his office. I suppose, probably, I'm not too sure, Adabuga also accompanied them there. And Jua told him that, America, they have asked me to put you under arrest, knowing that we are likely to have a shootout. Please don't resist, and we will not have any shootout. America did not resist. Jua put him into an armored vehicle, took him to the BNI, came back and told him that America did not resist. He said, oh God, he didn't resist. That man sitting there. That guy sitting there.
I think we
so
can
he
do,
said,
we can
oh
do
God.
without your drama.
Oh God.
Just give the evidence.
Oh God, he didn't resist. Jua said he did not. He said, listen, go back, take him from there, and take him all the way to Sawem. Between BNI and Sawem, whether he resists or not, eliminate him, kill him. At that time, they didn't know that Jua himself was harboring misgivings about them. Jua took America to Isawem, deposited him there, and never did what they asked him to do. So the two are clearly distinct and different and have no relationship with each other.
I had a very simple question for you.
No, you are
and the simple question was that you claimed on the one hand that America and Coup were arrested through the swift action of Idana.
Oh, yes.
Then on the other hand, you are saying that they were arrested because Captain Tsikata and President Rawlings got Major Bedema to sign for the arrest. And that the arrest was done by...
Though for his reward, he incarcerated him. Now, I am talking about the arrest of America on August the 4th of 1982, which he himself came here. I saw it on internet that America was going to stage a coup. And I'm saying that it was his usual ploy. It is in his chromosomes to devise means of any kind. That is his habit. We know that. So there are two different issues. Don't try and confuse the two. I know you had a brilliant mind when I was a young member of the bar. If you have been contaminated by him, I'm sorry.
All right, please. Let's have the next question. Next question, please.
Thank you for that conceit. But you said in your evidence, which I quoted in page 15, that when it became obvious that America was talking, Tsikata and Rawlings got Major Bedema to sign for America's arrest. Now, whom was America talking to? That led to...
America was bewildered.
Whom was he talking to, which, made the captain and J.J.
He was asking questions. I was not his bodyguard, so I wasn't following him to know whom he was talking to. But America was bewildered by according to him, why Rawlings went on the air to denounce the murders at all. Because America, he likes Rawlings very much. He doesn't like this guy. He suspects him. But he likes Rawlings. So he was bewildered why Rawlings went to the air and denounced the murders when America had believed passionately. And this is why I sympathize with the guy, that it was a national endeavor. So America started hunting him and hunting Ametekwe, trying to find some answers to what is all this about. That is the talking I mean.
Now listen, the SIB, the inaugural meeting of the SIB was on the 10th of August 1982. And the first session of the SIB was on the 17th of August 1982.
Okay.
Now, from Idana's book, it shows that let me get the page. At page 157 to 158, yeah, you can have a look at it if you have a copy. It shows from page 157 to 158 that America was questioned for the first time on the 10th of October 1982 in the afternoon. That is when America started talking in relation to the murders. And at that time, America had already been arrested.
Yes.
So his arrest would not have been because he was talking about the murders.
Dr. Obedesamwa, I know you were a good lawyer. You didn't study English, but I studied English to an MA level. And I was a very brilliant English student. America was talking loosely, and America was talking to Idana and giving names. They are the circumstance. One, the circumstance of his talking before his arrest, and the circumstance of his talking after his arrest are in the same. He was talking to Idana and mentioning names that bothered him. This guy bothered him.
But by Idana's own account, he hadn't talked to America before the 10th of October.
Dr. I have not said that America, before he was arrested, he was talking to Idana. I say he was talking and worrying and querying why Rawlings had denied. I didn't say, I've never said that America talked to Idana.
You said it this morning.
Jesus, I have not said that. Go back on the records.
You said it just now.
No, I have not.
That Idana was talking to Idana.
Stop there.
Let's go on.
Go on. No.
It's all right.
Let the record
please,
show.
Mr. Chris Asher, it doesn't matter. Please, Dr. Sama, go on with your questions. We will check on all these things.
Very well, my Lord.
Yes, my Lord. I want some more water.
Now, you said in your evidence that when the America and Coup were taking the victims to Bundasi, they got a call from Captain Kojo Tchikata. America got a call from Captain Kojo Tchikata. This is at page 11 of your evidence, if I may refresh your memory. Whilst on the way, he got a call from Kojo Tchikata asking him to change the venue to the Achimota Forest.
Yes,
but America insisted that Bundasi would be okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, how did he communicate with America whilst they were in the vehicle? On the
How
way?
did he
How
communicate
did
with
Captain
him?
Tsikata communicate with America while they were in the
Give
vehicle?
me a break, Dr. Samuel. Are you living in the ancient times? But by phone? By two-way? Are you living in ancient times?
But in your experience,
He received a call.
by what means? Just tell us.
By wire, by phone,
Which kind of phone?
by radio. I don't know. I wasn't there. I've told you I was not a Madagascar bodyguard.
Yes, but that is it. But you have come
I
here
am
to say
telling
what
you
he's
what he
supposed to
told
have
me.
told
I'm
you.
telling you what he told me.
Yes, but I'm trying to show that you did not check. You just took everything
Jesus.
on face value.
Dr. Asamoah, I was not sitting in my office, which he helped to destroy, and interviewing America, Jandu, and the boys. I was in prison. He was after me to hang me, and these boys needed my help, and I was getting information from them quickly. I had to get all the information as quickly as possible. I got all that. I wasn't comfortably sitting in my office, happy as you may be. Time was not on my side.
I'm putting it to
The
you.
circumstances were very stringent.
I'm putting to you that this piece of evidence is a manufacture.
Dr. Asamoah, I am very happy. If I manufactured all this, then I have the most brilliant mind in the world. And you pay me a compliment. If I manufactured all that. But don't forget, America is not dead. He may appear one day.
Now, you said you were present in Squadron Leader Tego's choir at the last rites.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, you were in Nsawam.
Uh-huh.
You were in Nsawam prison.
Yes.
Yes. But the last rites of America took place, Amatekwe, sorry. Amatekwe. I'm talking about Amatekwe.
No, you are getting it wrong once again. Here we go again, Dr. Obede-Samuel.
No, you listen at page 18 of the evidence.
Is that you? Are you the man I knew?
I'm asking this commission, this is page 18. I'm asking this commission on the basis of the evidence that came to me through, pardon? On the basis of the evidence that came to me through those boys, America, Jandu, Tekbo, Senya, was exactly 20 years when Jandu, Senya were executed, and Amatekwe. 17th August last week, 20 years exactly. And on the day Jandu requested I should see him in the condemned block.
Would you want to save your breath, Doc? Because I know what I'm talking about. Would you save your breath?
Yeah. Yeah. I joined Major Tego Church Choir and got in there, and I told him Amatekwe requested for a hymn, Lead Kindly Light. Senya asked for another one, and Jandu asked for What a Friend We Have in Jesus. And that day I told Jandu he had become like a son to me. To see a youth of that age so destroyed broke my heart anytime. I had my meetings with him and I treated him like my son. And that night when I went to say goodbye to him, I made him promise that their story would be told, etc., etc. Now,
Doc?
I'm suggesting to you that no such encounter took place because the last rites for these people were conducted at Ashaford, not at Nsawam prisons.
Doc, I'm sorry. I think you're losing your memory.
It's all right. Just answer the question.
The last rites were conducted by Major Tego. If there was any other rites anywhere, I don't know. Major Tego was in Nsawam prisons. He was in the annex block with me. He was the leader of he was the choir master. And I wanted to get into the condemned block. Jandu sent me a note. And I couldn't find a way. So I went to Major Tego and pleaded with him that I needed to speak to Jandu. Hold on. He looked at me and said, okay, we will allow you, but don't come and cause any trouble there. That is what he said. I said, Major, I wouldn't cause any trouble there. My Lord, one of the most emotional moments of my life was when I got in there. Jandu came down. He had a beautiful hair, swept it back. Apparently, he had had a bath, clad in a white bed sheet. Amatekwe, that was the only time I saw Amatekwe face to face, was there. And then Senya rather looked agitated and haggard. And I went and stood between Senya and Jandu. Jandu had talked to Senya about me. So he whispered to Senya that this is Mr. Asher. And Jandu clasped my hand. And when Major Tego started his sermon, he asked each one of them to choose a song. Amatekwe chose, I think, Lead Kindly Light. Amatekwe chose Abide With Me. Senya chose Lead Kindly Light. And Jandu chose What a Friend We Have in Jesus. And at that moment, I almost wept. But I held his hands hard. And at the end of it, I said, boy, don't worry. I will live long enough to tell your story. And I looked at him, And Major Tego, strict as he was, would not allow me any more time. Said, Mr. Asher, we go. And as I left, and I looked into the eyes of the boy who had become like a son, sent to his death by an inhuman person who was rejoicing at his death, I felt like if I had a gun myself, I could have gone and shot him dead. Don't tell me it wasn't at Insawam.
Please.
Yes. And so you had a gun, and on the 14th day of September 1982, you shot one Oforiata.
Oh, come on.
You shot one Oforiata. And you were facing committer proceedings. We've got evidence from the magistrate who was going to conduct the committer proceedings. You had been served with the papers in prison, but then you ran away. You shot dead somebody.
What's the question, please?
The question is that, isn't it true that he was facing trial for murder?
My Lord, I was in prison, not awaiting trial for murder. I was in prison once again. Here we go again, Dr. Obede Samwa. I was arrested on, I think, the 13th or on the 12th of September, 1982, when finally I had given up and I wanted to leave the country. On the Friday, that was the arrangement. I had asked my wife, Selina, whom I mentioned here, she was pregnant, to come over, and I wanted to say goodbye to her. And our first daughter, who is a doctor in the United States now, I was going to take her with me. She was just about 10. That was the very night I was arrested for murder. I was beaten up, tortured, and held in 3 different prisons. No charge of murder was brought. Unexpectedly, from the BNI, I was hurled. I never received any summons or a charge sheet, but I was brought before a Jekum, the public tribunal, and it was there that a charge of 2 charges, counts of fraud, insurance fraud, were read to me. The records will show that I raised objection because, do your research, they will tell you, Ejekum himself had stolen gold, and he had been offered the post by Tsikata and Rawlings because no member of the bar would accept that. They did that, and I raised that objection too. They tried me under a PN, they tried me under Act 29, which had its own penalty for that offense, which was less, but they sentenced me, they were proceeding to sentence me under the PNDC law, which would allow them to impose 10 years. And I argued against that. Ajekum, I remember he said, you sit there and talk, you will see. 10 years. I told my wives, there were 4 of them. I told them, I'll be back. She who wants to stay in, stay in. I'll be back 1 year. It took me 1 year, and I was out. So I was in some prisons, not as a result of any murder charge, but as a result of, quote unquote, spurious conviction by a thief. Have you seen a thief trying a thief? A thief who convicted me and sentenced me to 10 years. That is why I escaped and I had my freedom, and he regrets that I didn't die there.
Now, that trial you're talking about, the insurance fraud.
Yes.
You were tried by a tribunal comprising Kwaku Ajekum, Major Adu Amanfo,
yes.
then Madam Comfort Esther Efwa Do, and then Mr. Jenkins Kofi. You were properly tried, and you were charged on 2 counts of stealing, contrary to Section 1241 of the Criminal Code 1960, Act 29, and Section 82 of the Public Tribunals Law 1982, PNDC Law 24. So it isn't that you were charged only under any PNDC law. You were charged for stealing.
No, Dr. Samuel, I don't know what has
the documents.
Are you the same person I knew?
Please, just answer the question.
Listen to me. I have just said that I was charged under Act 29 together with the PNDC law. But under Act 29, the penalty would not have been 10 years. They proceeded to apply the penalty under the PNDC law, that bogus, fraudulent law. Were you not a member of the Ghana Bar Association? Why did the Ghana Bar Association boycott the tribunal? Tell me, have you changed your mind? Tell me now.
Your charges were laid.
Tell me.
Charges.
Mr. Asha, please. Mr. Asha.
A member of the Ghana Bar Association that boycotted the tribunal. Now you are holding that their actions were what? All right.
If you're a lawyer, you know that a lawyer doesn't ask. A witness doesn't ask a lawyer questions.
But when they are
Mr. Asha, it's all right. Please, Mr. Asha.
Is misbehaving, you should tell him that.
Mr. Asha, it's all right. Please.
The charges were under the criminal code. And they went into the case and passed a reasoned judgment. Lord, I would like the commission to have a look at this document.
I know about it.